guys, it's Michelle from Weekend in My Kitchen. This weekend we're making pate choux, aka profiteroles or cream puffs. Pate choux meaning cabbage in French. It gets its name by its irregular cabbage shape once it's baked. Pate choux is made in two stages. First, cooking of the paste. Second, baking of the paste. We're going to make a sweet and savory version. But before we start, let's go ahead and make the pastry cream so we give it time to cool before we stuff our cream puffs. Let's get started.
Let's first preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Pastry cream recipe is from Le Cordon Bleu. Pour 500 milliliters or 2 cups of milk into a heavy saucepan and 1 vanilla bean. Bring to a boil. Whisk 5 egg yolks and 125 grams of sugar in a medium bowl until pale yellow. To the egg mixture, whisk in 25 grams of flour and 25 grams of cornstarch. Once the milk comes to a boil, turn the heat off. Remove vanilla bean from the milk. Add half of the milk to the egg mixture and whisk. Return the mixture back to the saucepan and turn on the heat. Continue stirring until it thickens. Turn the heat off and pour the pastry cream into a bowl and cover with a plastic wrap, with the plastic wrap directly touching the pastry cream. I ran out of plastic wrap, so I'm using parchment paper. Place the pastry cream into the refrigerator for it to cool. Let's also grate some cheese to top our savory pate choux. I'm using Gruyere cheese and sharp cheddar cheese. Now for the pate choux. In a heavy pot, add 65 grams of butter, or 5 tablespoons, 125 milliliters of water, or half a cup, 125 milliliters of milk, or half a cup, 2 teaspoons of sugar, pinch of salt. Bring the pot to a simmer. Turn off the heat, add 125 grams of flour, or 1 cup, all at once. Stir vigorously. Once the flour absorbs all the moisture, turn the heat on low and keep stirring. When the dough creates a film on the bottom of the pot, it's done cooking. Turn off the heat. Place the dough into a bowl of a stand mixer. Run the stand mixer to release some steam. Let the dough cool. Let's do a little education. Education. The recipe calls for 4 eggs, but my dough kept coming out too runny and the puffs kept deflating after it was baked. After a couple of trials, I figured out that it was because I was using large eggs from Costco. I believe the recipe is asking for 4 medium-sized eggs. I decreased the recipe to 3 large eggs and they came out perfect. If your dough comes out too wet, try adjusting the amount of eggs or cook the dough longer on the stove. Once the dough has cooled, add eggs one at a time and wait till the first one is fully incorporated before adding the next. You know the dough is perfect when you can make a streak in the dough with a spatula and it holds its shape for a bit. You can do the same thing in a food processor. Place the dough into a food processor and pulse a few times to release some heat. Let the dough cool, then add eggs one at a time. You can also do this by hand with a wooden spoon. I like to use my Stanley Cup tumbler to assist with the piping bag. I have a piping bag with a tip, roughly medium size, a Teco 804. Please don't judge my piping skills. I know it sucks. For the savory version, I sprinkle the top with Gruyere and sharp cheddar cheese. Any dry or hard cheese should work. A little dusting of paprika for flavor. These pate choux will be the sweet version. You don't want the dough to have any tips, so wet your fingertips and lightly press them down. Brush with egg wash. Bake the pate choux for 10 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Turn down the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for an additional 15 to 20 minutes. With my oven, it was closer to 20 minutes. Pate choux does not have any leavening agents. The expansion of the choux is due to the formation of steam within the pastry during the baking process. Let's fill our piping bag with pastry cream. I'm using a small tip so we can fill the puffs. Wilton tip number 12. Use a paring knife to cut a small cross underneath the pate choux. Fill the choux with pastry cream. Unbaked and baked pate choux freezes very well for up to 2 weeks.
Cheers. The pastry cream, you can taste the vanilla. It's crispy on the outside. I'm gonna try the cheese puffs, Gruyere. I only sprinkle cheese over the top, but you can definitely incorporate some of the cheese inside the dough and it'll be more cheesier, but I kind of like the cheesy crust on the outside. You could probably even fill it with some cream cheese filling with chives or some whatever you like. I'm so excited to share these with friends and family. They're gonna love it. That's it for me, guys. Until next weekend, bye. Really fast. Cream puffs, cream puffs, cream puffs, cream puffs, cream puffs, cream puffs, and then we're going to eat it. Okay. Weekend we're making pate choux.